Eric Adams.
Oh, I should have had a double vodka. My mom got killed me. Oh my gosh. Now I'm speechless. Thank you. I usually am not speechless, right, Anzhelika? Okay, thank you guys so much. Oh man, Adams, oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, I have to first talk about Anzhelika, okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, okay, so that's going to be tough, but I have to talk about our story, how we met. So when I'll try to give you, there's nothing quick in my life. Just look up my website, Lucia Kaiser, okay?
Can you start off by saying you are two-time Emmy?
Yeah, I won 2 Emmys. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I don't even know she knows my resume better than I do. Okay, let me talk about that for a minute. I've had a very blessed life, but I also had the love of my life tragically die in Honolulu. I lived in Europe. Yes, just so you know, Johnny Carson promoted me. I was when those days, I hope somebody knows what a gopher is, because this is the old days. I started with him to get into NBC, and I didn't even know how to type. You didn't know how to type in those days. Anyway, within 1 year, thank you for the acknowledgement, I started in the lowest position you need to get, and I became the first woman to book the Johnny Carson show for 5 years. So I booked all the greatest stars, thank you. And I wish, the worst part is, Johnny Carson said to me, can you imagine if I had a picture of everyone I booked? I mean, there were some very major stars in those days. There are many still alive. And he said, the one thing you cannot do, you cannot take a picture. So anyway, I know. Or I would have been fired. So anyway, if I talk about Johnny Carson, that would be another 4 hours. So he was a respectful, wonderful person, and he really respected me. And I guess I worked very hard, but it was quite an accomplishment. After about 5 years, it was actually 5 years, I decided to leave. He was very upset, but he gave me a great letter of reference, which led me to a very interesting situation. If I tell you my whole story, you get up to see the movie. We're working on the movie right now, by the way. And don't ask me who's going to play me, maybe Anzhelika. I don't know, okay? Because I don't even know. Anyway, okay, we'll talk. I'll talk to your agent. Okay. So what ends up happening, too much to tell, but I decide I want to go to Hong Kong. And so I'm on one of those boats. I don't know how many people have been there, but I've never been. I went as a regular, like a tourist. But I had like a pretty, so someone was listening to my conversations, a guy who I thought was some dirty old man. He was 35. I was in my early 20s. Yeah. And so it turns out, he said, I didn't mean to be rude, but you worked with Johnny Carson, and this story sounds so amazing. Would you be interested in, I'm speeding up the story, living in Hong Kong? I said, my God, yeah, but I have to work. I'm not, exactly born, from wealth. And he said, well, I might have something very interesting. So he says, where are you staying? And well, the one thing I always did is when I made money, I spent it all on the best hotels, and, first class, and then came back broke and whatever. So he sent a Rolls Royce for me because, that's like the regular when you live in Hong Kong if you have money. I go, wow, this is cool. So I'm walking in, and the name of the company was Conferred Productions. I had no idea it was Bruce Lee's company. And so I'm sitting in the conference room at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the secretary said, would you like something to drink? I was just telling the story quickly. And I jokingly said, I'd love a glass of Cristal champagne. I had great taste, even though I was raised in the Bronx, okay? And out comes this bucket, like a 24-karat gold bucket, with a whole thing of Cristal. I'm like, oh, I don't know what kind of company it is, but I'm going to be staying here. And the guy who I thought was a dirty old man who was only 35, he walks in, and behind him, Bruce Lee was quite short. I mean, not that I'm tall, but I mean, people think he was much taller. And the guy moves into his Bruce Lee, and went, oh. And remember, I worked for Johnny Carson, I booked the biggest stars, but I have to tell you, I was really I was really a fan of Bruce Lee. And this is before I went to the Dragon. I actually did the negotiation with Warner Brothers, just so you know. But anyway, yeah, so you know. So that 2 years was amazing. He hired me. I did live in a penthouse, and I did have what they called in those days, I hate to say these words, servants. That's what they called them. 7 people working for me. It was like a dream. I was in my 20s. Yeah. What ended up happening is I went to Europe on a vacation. I was exhausted after Enter the Dragon. I needed to take a break. And I'm working my way down Denmark, and I get to Munich, Amsterdam, and I end up meeting the love of my life, Mr. Stefan Kaiser, who unfortunately, tragically died, and that's why I'm here, because we moved to Hawaii, we got married. Donna Summer threw our wedding parties, because Donna, I'm not just dropping names here, she knows this is real. You know, sometimes when you don't know me, I'm throwing out all this. I've just had an extraordinary life, but I've also had, a lot of sad moments, because the love of my life went blind at a very young age and ended up committing suicide. And yeah, that's why I ended up helping. That's actually why I ended up getting 2 Emmys, because I founded a company, a nonprofit called You Can Make a Difference, to help battered women who were getting beat up by men. And that's one of the Emmys I won. It was called. And then there was a big homeless situation starting to happen in Honolulu, believe it or not. I mean, at least if you're homeless, I'm sorry to say this to you, you're in Hawaii. No, I know, that's terrible, But anyway, no, but so anyway, what happened was after a few years, it was too painful to stay in Hawaii with the memories, and I moved back to New York City. I didn't know one person, but my Sicilian family in the Bronx. And so basically I ended up meeting some wonderful people, and now I am producing my own movie on my life story. And yes, and I have investors. That's the most important part. And you're going to be in it. Anzhelika. So no, I have to say something about Anzhelika. This is no joke. When I first came here, I met a guy he's now a big-time music producer. His name was Doc. He's one of my first friends. And so he calls me one night, and he called you too, right, separately. And he says, I need you to meet this fabulous woman that I met. You two are going to become best friends. That's what he said to me, remember? I don't know what he said to you, but that's what he said to me. He said, no, you need to call Anzhelika, okay? You need to promise me you're going to call her. And by the way, the guy I'm talking about, I'm not just telling you, he's produced some of the biggest singers in the world. He's become very major. He's a very humble guy, so he doesn't brag about himself. So anyway, so finally I called you, I called you. We were on the phone till 4 o'clock in the morning until we met, right? Until I actually met Anzhelika, who I love and adore, and her charity is so important to me. I'll do anything to share, and anything for you. And I know you're sick of me already. Oh yeah, but you have to watch my movie when it comes out, but God knows if I'll be alive. Let's pray that I'll be alive when it comes out. I've got the funding, so let's pray. Thank you, I love you.
Well, I think Lucia was also hoping to say that unless there's someone else who's interested and wants to be one of the other or first sponsors, she's open. First come, first serve. So, yeah, but we're really excited for her. Yes, because we just took some pictures. She's nervous, understandably so. Excited? Yeah.
Because I love her and I love my new. Hopefully, I'll be friends. I know many of you. I'm sorry, I met many of you thanks to Anzhelika, but and my beautiful son who turns out to be great friends with Anzhelika, and she's, yeah. So I love you all. I don't know you all, but I mean that sincerely. And if anybody, just look up Lucia Kaiser if you want to stay in contact with me and buy the tickets for the movie. That's the most important part. Okay. Let's hope I'm up for something. Thank you so much. Love you.
I just realized I was wearing my glasses on my forehead the entire time up for all the pictures. Beautiful. I might as well just leave them here. There are two more